Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about not MineZ, but Raid the Dungeon. Stick to the very end of the video if you guys want to know about MineZ stuff. This is unrelated though. So in Raid the Dungeon, this is a mobile idle game, and it's a super fun game that I've been playing for about a year, and so ever since Global Chat has kind of released and been reworked, I've noticed a lot of new players have a very hard time understanding why gold obtain is so important for this game, and why that you need to really get it up early, just so you can stockpile that gold for later on when it becomes super necessary. It's always super necessary, but it's 10 times harder to get at any game just because of the sheer amounts you need. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Let's get these new players on track, and let's move on to where gold obtain is even useful. So we're over here in Rift menu, which you'll unlock at some adventure stage. I think it's like adventure chapter 15 or something like that, or 17. But you should be able to unlock it pretty quickly, and rifts are super important. Rifts give you your first big chunk of gold, and you also get a bunch of levels from rifts at the very early of the game. You're gonna be leveling up super quick, and you're gonna be getting a bunch of gold. It's awesome, but you always want to increase that gold. So you're going to be using your gold set in a rifts pretty much until end game. As you can see in the bottom middle of my screen, it says gem farm, which you'll use that for later, but that's not really important for any new players. You're also going to be using it in flame rift. Now, when the season changes, this will be void rift for a while, and then future rifts may be something different. But pretty much you're going to be using it 24/7 in flame rift, no matter where you are. Flame rift gold obtain is so huge. Now, you're going to be using your markers of the rift, which is the currency to get into these places right here, pretty much exclusively on rifts for quite a bit of time until you can reach flame rift stage 7. This is where it finally kind of equalizes out, and it's actually worth doing flame rifts. But you won't actually make more money from flame rifts until flame rift 14, and that's because just the scaling of how this works in flame rift 14. It will just pretty much boost you to this level of getting gold. It's like 8 billion from like Flame Rift 13 to like 20 billion in Flame Rift 14. It's an insane difference. And then it's even bigger from that. Like 15, you get about 38 to 40 billion. Then this is like 60 to 80. Sorry, 60 to 65 or something like that. So it's a pretty huge difference. But that's only for the last few Flame Rift stages. Pretty much until then, you're gonna be doing exclusively Rift. Now, once you are Flame Rift 7, you're actually going to be using about 80% of your Marks of the Rift on transferring into Mark of the Flame. So it's 25 Marks of the Rift to be transferred into one Mark of the Flame. So make sure to use 80% Marks to the Flame, 80% Marks to Rift into Marks of Flame, and then 20% you should be running Rifts to keep up your gem levels. So let's go ahead and move on to where you're not going to be using your gold Rift set, gold build set. So over here is your tier dungeon. This may look a little different to you depending on what week you're on, but this is generally the same. Tier dungeon is a game mode where all that matters is damage, damage, damage. You get no gold from dropping in here. I can even show you. Let's go ahead and do one tier dungeon while I'm talking. This is tier dungeon 22, so it should be pretty easy for where I'm at in the game. But you're going to be getting essentially no gold from this. Not even essentially, you're going to be getting no gold. It's not even worth farming this, simply because there's no gold to be obtained. So you can see from this right here, the end screen, it's going to flash by pretty quickly. As you saw, we have no gold from there. Another place that new players may not really understand, and it's a little harder to understand than tier, is adventure. Now, you should be running adventure as much as you can, but you're not going to be using it with your gold set. You're going to be using it with your speed farm set. You're using adventure not to farm gold or anything else but marks of the rift. So you can see here I'm kind of speeding through right now, and in the background, and you're going to be getting pretty much as marks of the rift from this. You're going to be getting such an abysmal amount of gold from this, it's not worth building it for gold. So pretty much only build it for speed. I'll have a video on that later, especially with Nimbus right now, with Nimbus being such a weird mount, but that's off the topic. So about to finish it right now, and we're going to be like a pretty pitiful amount of gold, 3.5 mil. That is barely anything, and that was an abysmal time as well. So yeah, Then it was like 107, which was pretty rough, if I read that right. Yeah, 107. So, yeah, you're not going to be using your gold build set another one of those. All right. So you may be at this point now, and you're like, okay, I understand where to use the gold set, but how do I get my gold set? What are the important items for gold set? So before we go over specific items, I want to talk about more micro stuff. So first thing you're talking about is companions. So companions are really important because they do give you quite a bit of passive buffs. A lot of new players think that they should upgrade all their companions up to triple S, and they're going to be super powerful triple S companions, but in reality, triple S companions are really only there for flex. They're not there to survive. Most of the time they're going to be dying. So don't worry too much about getting triple S. Now, this is what we're going to be using for the majority of the game. And until the new New Year's event comes back with the cows, you're going to be pretty much doing this build. So these companions right here are normal rarities, so you have to use the quartz roll. But these ones right here, you're going to have to use internal tokens, which I'll go over later in a different video. But if you see these in companions, any one of these, so you need 2 gold dragons, 2 goblin kings, and 2 assassins. If you see these, hold onto them and put them in your companion slots. They're very important. Last thing I want to touch on before we move on to the actual gear is your skins. Skins are way more than just fashion. They actually give you stat buffs. So you can see right here, we have gold obtained on my popsicle. We have gold obtained on my textbook. We have gold obtained on my baker's cap. Stuff like that. You're going to want to get as much gold from skins as you can. You can also even re-roll gold obtained right here on your helmet. And I believe you can even re-roll it on your chest plate too. You can't. Sorry, I apologize. So you can only reroll on your helmet. So you can get an extra 10% from rerolling helmets, which you'll just do by enchanting skins. But I'll make a way more in-depth video about enchanting skins later. So yeah. So we're finally at the point where we're going to start showing some really important gold gear items. Now, using these in a vacuum may not be the best, and I really recommend checking out some of the new player guides that other people have, because you'll be able to kind of intuitively know when to use these. But some really important gear to use to get your gold up are the Emperor's golden earrings, the Emperor's golden necklace, and the Emperor's silk belt. These will be used pretty much throughout the whole game, and they're very important for the game. They give you a high amount of gold obtained, and they're just awesome. Another thing that you want to be looking out for are these event items called Sleipnir. They're only events, but they do give you an extra 20% gold increase if you do have a +2, as well as movement speed. And they're actually the only boots in the game that provide gold obtained. The next thing you want to look out for is this Easter item that got added recently, or this more like spring item, are these Aegir's earrings. These give you a very, very good amount of gold obtained increase from them, so go ahead and look out for these in the event shop if you're watching this video during an Easter event. The last accessory item I'm going to be talking about is the Dropnir. This is a ring. This is from the Odin set, not the crit rate Odin set, but the gold Odin set. You're going to be using this as well. And the final big one will be the Royal Protector helmet, which you'll be using pretty much throughout the whole entire game until late game. Of course, make sure you re-roll your gold obtained as high as you can on your helmets and everything else, because that just gives you extra gold. So if you combine all of these into a kind of coherent build, at end game it should look like this, but I'm going to go ahead and show off right now what a gold build will look like for a new player. So just kind of combining all these items that you can find, this is going to be a great build for any new player to get as much gold as they can. So yeah, I hope that was a clear and concise video about how to get as much gold as you can, where to wear your gold set. There will be another video later on about how to maximize your gold builds at every stage of the game, but that will be a very good gold build, as I just showed earlier, for new players, and use them where I showed them to. So you're going to be using them pretty much in Flame Rift 7+ once you can farm that, anywhere in Rifts, and you won't be using it in Tier or Adventure. If we see you using a Tier Adventure, you're actually losing so much damage if you do that. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.